Welcome to King of Hearts, Queen of Sorrows, Episode 2. This is my platform for discussing one of my favorite shows of all time, Mobile Fighter G Gundam. I am your host, Matthew Munoz. I am an aspiring author and selective enjoyer of anime. So, Episode 2 of G Gundam was a friggin' doozy. I just watched it at speed while trying to take down notes, so some of this stuff is going to sound a little canned because it is, honestly. And I'm doing it like this so I can have my notes for shadow font later on, because I want to do like a deep analysis of each character, basically each of the big characters. So there's like 6 or 7 of them that I'm really going to talk about in depth, and I'll probably, well, anyway, you don't need the insight into how I'm going to do the shadow font thing. But let me go ahead and get into episode 2 right now. So what happens? Domon fights Neo-America's fighter Chibodee Crocket and defeats him handily by blowing up Gundam Maxter's right arm. Oops, I put something in the wrong section. Sorry, see, I'm reading off my notes and it kind of messed me up here. Oh boy. So, I was going to talk about what Rain is like, and basically in this episode she gets to be feisty, and that's pretty cool with me. Here we go. So, she, shoots these Neo-America thugs who are coming to beat up Domon because that's how they do. Like, everybody's shady. Everybody's so shady in the Gundam fight, which is apparently a thing that, I don't know, it's hard to tell if it's an open secret or if everybody just kind of accepts it because that's how things have always been, or maybe that's how things have developed to be over the last 60 years. And, like, as far as I can tell, Rain, Domon, the others besides Saisaishi are, like, in their 20s, and Saisaishi is probably like 12 or 13, you know, like these are young people. They're definitely, I think everybody's definitely below 30, except for Argo Golski. He's probably like 35, 40. But anyway, I'd be super interested to see on the wiki, like their official ages, which maybe that's something I'll do later. But anyway, moving on through episode 2, Rain gets to be cool. Domon's being a jerk to her, and she, I think she sticks a thermometer in his mouth. The screen went by so fast, or the images on the screen went by so fast because I was watching it in, sped up order. Just because I've already seen this, I watched it a couple months ago. To me, there's no point in watching it, in regular speed when I can just absorb it again. Anyway. Let me see. What's Domon like? He's wild and out of control. He beats up a boxer who's, I don't know if he's the champion or if Chibodee was the champion, but he beats up this boxer so that he can sucker punch Chibodee. Like, he breaks into the guy's room, punches him, knocks him out in one hit, which, Domon's a super strong fighter, so of course he's able to do that. And this guy's just a boxer. Forgive me for saying that. Anyway, then he sneaks into the ring, he sucker punches Chibodee, hits him really badly, and Chibodee is, hurt. I think he, uppercuts him or something, and anyway, he's, reeling from it, and then Domon throws off this cloak, because, boxers come in their hoods and stuff, and it's like, I challenge you to a fight, Neo-America fighter, Chibodee Crocket, and Chibodee's like, dude, I want to fight you. That's I'm here in the city where my dream started, so that I can, beat this guy, be the champion, and then win, for America, be Gundam of Gundams. So that's pretty crazy. So he's way immature, and I'll just give spoilers. I think Domon's arc is really shallow, as opposed to Yusuke Urameshi, who I think has a really deep arc. Which again, you'll be hearing about that soon if you stick around to this channel. So I'm going to move on from here. What's Chibodee Crocket like? Chibodee is Gundam Maxter's pilot. He defeated his rival Desert or Scud Gundam in a single blow. I'm thinking Desert and Scud they're referring to, since this was made in 94, the Gulf War, and it looked kind of like it was in a desert and I don't know, vaguely Arab or Arabic, whatever. So I think the creators behind G Gundam are pulling from that, even though that's irrelevant to who Chibodee is as a character. I just kind of thought I'd bring that up. So Chibodee's from New York. He's very idealistic. He grew up basically as an orphan, or he was orphan. That's right. He grew up as an orphan, and they show him as a tiny kid beating up these huge guys. And Rain mentions later that in New York, in America, but in New York especially, people are so desperate to pursue their dreams that they will act out in order to do that. And I wonder if that's a Japanese perception of how Americans are, which, by the way, Chibodee is proud, he's brash, he's got these, I find it so hard to say, he has these beautiful women around him. Not that I'm attracted to these cartoon characters, but they're designed, they're meant to be, and in the context of the show, they're supposed to be these knockout gorgeous women. And one thing that I love about that, about them in particular, is that they're all shades. I think there's like, anyway, there's like a couple white women, a black woman, Hispanic woman, I think. So it's like really neat. Like, so I'm married. I've been married for a long time. I met my wife like 15 years ago, and we got married like 10 years ago. And oh gosh, I hope that's right. I think we're at 9 years right now, but it feels like we've been together forever, and I love it. Some people say, "Oh, how long have you been married?" This long. How much does it feel like? Oh, a few minutes underwater. Because marriage is a terrible trap that you must keep yourself from getting into. No, that's not true. It's a lie. Don't believe it. Anyway, but I always thought like, oh, like so many women from around the world are beautiful, and it's really neat. Like it would be an interesting experience to like spend time with different women from around the world and like, oh, look at this woman. She's beautiful in this way. This woman over here is beautiful in those ways. And like, I think it's fair, and I don't think it's gross for me to be saying this, but like people from all around the world are attractive because we're all humans and humans are attracted to humans for the most part. And it's fine to find beauty in different types of people, different ethnicities, because every ethnicity has its own unique, distinct set of features. Basically Anyway, ethnicity is a whole big mess, but like I think it's cool that this guy, he's not romantically connected to any of them in a clear way in the show, but he has these beautiful women who are around him, and they're his technical team too, which is even cooler, but you don't really get to see that in this episode, so we'll come back to that later. But anyway, so he's an idealistic guy. He's passionate about like enjoying life, which is why he surrounds himself with these beautiful women, and he loves fighting, and he loves like he wants to make it big, and like to him, it seems like his meal ticket is like his strength and his performance of being able to be a fighter. So like that's how he does it, and that's how he pursues his dreams of like being, I don't know, his happy, brash self. And I think it's pretty cool. Oh, but what's cool, he's honorable. He refuses to help the corrupt Americans working with him, and it seems like the guys working with him, there's a blonde guy and there's a guy with black hair and a mustache. It seems like they're from Earth and they've never been to the colony, and Chibodee's from Earth, and he says that early on when he was a kid and he beat up those adults, those like gang members, that's he basically got scouted by colonial, like I'm going to call them liaisons. That's how I like to think about them. And like they, well, anyway, I'll get into them, but they're like bad dudes, and he refuses to work with them. So, what themes are at play? I kind of think government corruption again is coming in here, because the American liaison guys I just talked about, they offer to assassinate Domon for Chibodee, even though they are top officials. Like they're willing to get their hands dirty. They actually pilot these helicopters that turn into Gundams in a really neat looking way, and Domon fights off one. One of them is trying to kill him. Like the blonde guy, who might be Greg, I think they said it was his name. I don't remember. No, Douglas. Anyway, one of the guys is Douglas, which is just a funny little detail. Anyway, one of them like kidnaps Bunny, which is the brunette with short hair and glasses, on Chibodee's team. Bunny, that name, it's so funny. Anyway, he abducts Bunny, and I think he impersonates her, or he drugs her and forces her to tell Domon to go to the wrong place so that he can ambush him there and kill him there. I guess because they'd have no faith in Chibodee as a fighter. I'm not sure how this works and how there's supposed to be honor in the Gundam fights, and there isn't. It's messy and ugly, which is interesting. I didn't really pick up any nuggets of lore except for how crazy the Gundam fights are. Let's see. Rain uses she puts on these Ray-Bans, these black shades, and she wears those while she's shooting these American guys with her taser gun, or whatever it's called. So, I mean, I guess maybe that, but it's not one of her, beauty, a makeup item masquerading as a weapon or something. So, anyway. So that's all for her gadgets, I guess, this episode. That's really all I have to say. This was a good episode. I really liked it. It was fun. I'm thinking the Argo Golski episode, I'm pretty sure it bored me, which I think is episode 5. So anyway, we'll kind of go from there. I mean, I'll get to that later and talk about it more, but this was a really enjoyable episode. I like the emphasis on dreams and honor, and one really cool thing that I liked was at the end, Chibodee was telling Domon, just go ahead and finish me off, and Domon was like, no, listen to those people, they're cheering for you, and the Gundam Fight International regulations say that you can keep going as long as, and he uses it in words that would speak to Chibodee's heart. He says, as long as the fighter still has the dream of winning, they can keep going on. And he's like, oh, thank you, Neo Japan fighter. And everyone's yelling, Chibodee, Chibodee, get up and stuff. And Americans love an underdog, and so do I, because I'm an American in that way, I guess. But it's really neat, and I liked it. And that's all I have to say for this episode of King of Hearts, King of Queens, King of Hearts, Queen of Shadows. So anyway, everybody, remember to get out there and grasp happiness.